Stay.
Excuse me?
Greetings to you. Greetings to you too.
The Chamberlain mentioned you've seen demons at the castle.
You're damn right I did. What do you know about it?
Nothing. That's why I came to you.
I'm sure at least half a dozen demons have taken up residence in the Western Courtyard. If the Chamberlain didn't tell you how dangerous this is for all of us, I'm telling you now.
Of course he told me. That's why we're trying to resolve this as quickly as possible.
I'm glad to hear it. Give those demons their due.
Tell me what you know then.
You know the guardhouse with the little arena? In the palace below the Crone, over by the outer wall? Inside, I mean, on the ground floor. The place stinks like hell, day in and day out. It makes my head spin. I've seen things there with my own eyes I'd rather not talk about. I'd start the investigation there if I were you.
All right. I'll look into it.
Take care for now.
How long have you been serving in Trotsky?
And what are you after anyway?
Nothing. I'm a blacksmith like my father before me, so...
So, you thought you might find some work with me? Well, you won't, fella me lad. And if you are going to be loitering around me here, all you'll do is get on my nerves. So, best be on your way. See you soon, my... friend.
Greetings to you. Huh? Phew, it's just you.
It's you! Aha. Stop acting like a child.
So, how did you end up at Trotsky?
Sir Otto hired me in Prague as his bodyguard and a swordmaster for the local castle garrison. I reckon he sensed he was in danger. And he was right. A band of scoundrels was lying in wait for us on the road, and they nearly got us.
Why do they call you Black Bartosz?
It's just a nickname, of course, because of my, black hair. Every swordsman has a nickname, you know? Once you win a few tournaments, they give you one.
So you're really a highborn knight?
Indeed. I'm Bartoszek of Drahonitz. My father served Emperor Charles his entire life.
Oh, sorry. I suppose I should call you sir.
No, there's no need for formalities. Titles are worthless. A man should earn a name for himself. It's not enough to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
How was your company ambushed? What happened exactly?
It was well planned, I must admit. They nearly got us.
And what went wrong for them?
Hard to say. Maybe we were just lucky, and God was watching over us.
That's all there was to it?
If you really want to know what I think, the idiots lacked discipline. They rushed it.
What do you mean?
It might have come down to a single fool's mistake. I don't know. But if they just waited a bit longer, we wouldn't have stood a chance. Like I say, I thank the Virgin Mary and all the saints for watching over us.
You must have been honored when the Royal Chamberlain chose you as his bodyguard. How did you meet?
That's simple. I was serving in the garrison in Prague's royal castle, where von Burgo was a frequent guest.
I see. But what brought you to his attention? You have good connections, I suppose.
Depends what you mean. I'd recently won 2 big tournaments, so I was invited to a splendid banquet. It was there Sir Otto offered me a position at his castle. I'd heard of Trotsky, of course, but I was still astonished when I saw it with my own eyes. Sir Otto spared no expense to build a truly mighty fortress.
Sorry, but we're about the same age, and I'd never have guessed you're a swordmaster.
We each have our own path, it seems. I even studied at university, while I could still afford it.
What? You're a man of letters as well?
I wouldn't go that far. I dabble in poetry a bit, that's all. I may come from a noble family, but we're not renowned or rich, and studying costs a fortune. And I didn't have one, so I had to do what I do best.
You became a mercenary.
That's right. I spent more time fighting than studying at university, and I came out of it alive. So I reckoned that's where my talent lies.
Where did you learn to fight, Bartosz?
I've dedicated the last 5 years of my life to it. I travelled a lot and was taught by several masters.
I'd like to see the world too, but I haven't even made it to Prague yet.
Well, I haven't been all that far either. But unless you learn from true masters, you'll never become a master yourself. Fortunately, these days there are plenty of swordsmen in Prague who will train you for coin.
I hope to make it to our royal city someday soon.
If you do, go and see Master Lamprecht and give him my regards. He's a man of honor and a peerless master of the longsword.
I'd like to learn a new combat technique.
Certainly. Why not? I happen to have some time on my hands, and a good stretch would do me well. I like a longsword, but there's not much room for it in the heat of battle, where brute force will come in more handy for you. Such a hit with the pommel of a sword, handle of an axe, or edge of a shield will certainly disorient everyone. Would you like me to show you?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
All right. As I already said, often mainly brute force will help you in a fight. Attack with any short weapon a few quick times. Then, move towards the opponent and hit him in the face with the shaft. Oh, and if you have a shield, use it. That will definitely ruin your opponent's day. Now come and try it a few times. Good.
I'd like to learn a new...
Why not? If you are not afraid of fistfights, I'll show you a little trick. It is actually a simple blow with the back of the hand to the opponent's neck. I was taught it by a good old Franciscan, back when I was studying. I wonder what became of him.
That sounds good. Teach me that.
But of course, it's kind of a useful little ruse. First, you kick your opponent between the legs and pretend you're losing your balance. But at that moment, you swing the back of your hand at his neck. It won't put a bloke down, but it'll give you time to attack again. Now come and try it a few times. Good. You've really got...
I'd like to learn a...
Why not? I can show you how I teach the local men to fight with pikes. It's not that noble a weapon, but it's dangerously effective. One slash across the belly and you've got him where you want him. What do you say?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
Gladly. You start slicing the pike with a slow arc to yank the opponent's weapon aside. This will throw him off balance. So then you slice the pike's blade into his unprotected belly. If you do it right, it's all over. There's no more to be done. Believe me. Now come and try it a few times. Good. You've really got to...
I'd like to learn a new...
Certainly. As you can probably figure, I like the longsword because it's beautiful and an absolutely nimble weapon. Our grandfathers didn't use them, but today in Prague, everyone is tripping over themselves to learn how to fight with one. I'll be happy to show you how to handle it better. What do you say?
That sounds good. Teach me that.
As you wish. The first thing is to realize a sword has two blades, and thanks to your second hand on the hilt, you can quickly spin it around and hit your opponent's head. These are exactly the techniques that make the longsword an extremely deadly weapon. Now come and try it a few times. All good? No learning has ever... Excuse me.
I see you've got a dice table here. Fancy a game?
I'd love to, but Father Nicodemus took me for everything I had. I've got nothing to wager. Oh, wait a mo. I may have something after all. The guards found something on this one thief they caught. Some sort of map. They thought it might lead to the thief's hoard. They wanted to go looking for it, but I took the map from them. Want to play for it?
Why don't you look for the hoard yourself?
I'm new here. I don't know the lay of the land. I wouldn't risk it. I'm glad I made it out alive when Lord von Bergov's retinue was ambushed on the way.
Could have been a draft.
Would you be willing to sell me the map instead?
I'd rather we played for it. But considering how broke I am at the moment, I'll take the coin.
Here's the coin.
I'm curious to see what you find there.
Can we fight?
Stop by when I'm over by the pen. I don't have time for you right now.
Praise the Lord.
The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Of course I do. But I don't know what to think anymore. I keep finding hair in my food. Someone hides my spices. My soup goes sour. And there's that awful smell.
Oh, that sounds terrible. The Chamberlain wants this resolved as soon as possible.
It's about time. Do you have any idea how scared people are? All it takes is one mention of those beasts and the maids start threatening to find work elsewhere. I hear the castle has always been connected to hell, but nobody tells you that when you ask to work here.
Where should I start looking?
They must be coming from the other side of the castle. Under the crone.
All right. But what am I supposed to do about them? I heard I'm supposed to pour some kind of special water.
But you're mostly right. You have to douse the ground in front of the fireplace they're coming from. That creates a boundary demons can't cross.
All right. Where can I find the fireplaces?
That's hard to describe. Anyway, there are 5 such fireplaces on the crone side of the castle. Together they form the shape of a 5-pointed star, a pentagram.
Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Hopefully I won't miss any of them.
If I were you, I'd do it during the night. Even the demons have to sleep sometime, don't they?
The devil never sleeps.
And the old hag rushes in where the devil fears to tread, eh? The sooner you get rid of them, the better. Farewell.
Ave Maria.
You're not permitted to be here. Halt! I said surrender!
I'm on the way.
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stole anything. Otherwise, we'll deal with your unruliness in the pillory.
How dare you accuse me like that? Do you have any idea?
Oh,
Good to see you. Greetings to you too.
I hear there are demons causing trouble at the castle again.
Again? Is anyone sprinkling yet?
Aye. Me.
That's the only thing that works.
What do you think of all this?
Occasionally, I hear the servants telling stories that sound like they're taken straight out of a Cistercian penitential. Even Gregory the Great, Gregory of Tours, Caesarius of Heisterbach, or Jacobus de Vorgine all share a similar view of unholy forces. The devil, as the enemy of both God and man, makes every effort to seduce the soul onto the road to hell, and to harm people however he can. How do you imagine the forces of evil?
Like the sort of mud that sticks to everything, causes ulcers, and tries to pull you down underground.
An interesting interpretation. I usually hear similar things from people who can't swim. Anything else?
What kind of tasks do you do for Lord von Burgov?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamberlain, he has to be in Prague most of the time.
What does the royal chamberlain do?
I understand, lad. You're asking about his authority, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything at all about him.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain. Subcamerarius, in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials in the kingdom. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and abbots in them, and appoints the royal judges.
Why does Sir Otto have to be in Prague so often?
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni, young man. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come together there. It's where they handle administration of the country. If you want to be somebody, you have to go to Prague, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but why do you consider Margrave Jobst a traitor?
And what else should I call a person who only looks out for any chance to benefit himself?
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas, isn't he?
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible to keep track. But, to give him credit where credit is due, unlike our king, he's a great politician. Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on to him before he died. Yes, indeed. One day that bloody Margrave Jobst of ours is going to make it big. He might even become the emperor himself.
Why doesn't Lord von Burgov free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna? He's powerful enough for that, isn't he?
It's politics, boy. Pure and simple.
I understand. But could you explain it a bit more for me? Why did they take our king captive? And why did the Czech lords let Sigismund spread all over the country like a plague?
That's complicated. Back during the reign of both King's father, Emperor Charles, the nobles gained great wealth and power. And when young Wenceslas came to the throne, he didn't have enough experience or courage to stand up to them. That's why he surrounded himself with faithful lower lords and entrusted them with all the royal offices.
I reckon the high nobility didn't like that, eh?
You're damn right they didn't. They conspired against the king and established their League of Lords. That started a protracted war, dragging the king's cousins, Prokop and Jobst of Luxembourg, into it. But King Wenceslas was stubborn, unyielding, and, unfortunately, also often drunk. He preferred to run away from politics to wine, women, and the hunt. It was only a matter of time before the lords conspired with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague, and Sigismund had the royal castles occupied by his allies. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him firmly under lock and key.
So von Burgov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. And now, they can't agree on what to do about it. I think that's why Lord von Burkhoff received your message. He's trying to find new allies among the lower nobility.
Who are among Wenceslas's opponents?
Who do you think? All the nobles in the League of Lords, of course. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Burghoff, too, so far.
But we serve Sahanish of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions to them.
Ah, damn politics.
On the contrary, boy. It's only thanks to politics that von Burghoff didn't send you two to the gallows straight away.
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
I'd like to hear some news from the world.
Fine. But it'll take some time.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
So I was wondering, where do you keep books here at Trotsky?
You didn't answer me. But so be it. Books first have to be examined and sorted.
And where did you sort that alchemist's cookbook?
Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
I'll have a talk with Nickvard and find out what the problem is.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already offered to address this pressing situation, listen to what I've learned. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
The price of such a book must be incalculable. People like Nick Vard are too dumb to understand.
But I digress. As I said, Nick Vard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
I reckon those aren't the only 3 people that know him.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nick Vard is a loner. Which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkhove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nick Vard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
You said Nick Vard is avoiding you. Where at the castle does he live? Are there any places he frequents?
Nick Vard lives like a hermit here at Trotsky. Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nick Vard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkhoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace, perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know. The Chamberlain said you know something about the demons haunting the castle.
Those monsters are back again. Last summer, we only heard them scratching the walls and roof with their claws. But they got a lot more bold this time. They're leaving charred marks on my wooden spoons, throwing clumps in my food, and they're constantly leaving their droppings in my kitchen.
Are you sure they're demons? I've seen a few mice here. They go wherever they want.
Only you youngsters can come up with something so stupid. You wouldn't know Lucifer if he pricked you in the forehead with his horns. I'm sure they're demons. They're jealous of the prosperity and peace Lord von Berghoff has brought us these last few years.
If you say so. Where should I look for them?
They're coming from the other side of the castle, below the Maiden, I swear.
Manietta told me the demons are coming from this side of the castle, from below the Crone.
My God, the poor girl must be under their spell. And I was so fond of her.
Let me guess. I'll have to find and sprinkle 5 fireplaces.
Of course. Everyone knows the demons enter this world through the flames. You have to find 5 fireplaces in the palace, under the Maiden, and sprinkle water on them. Be careful to sprinkle within the width of your little finger. 9 drops, 1 for every angelic choir, and every 3rd drop must be twice as big as the ones before it.
I'll take care of it. I hope I can do it exactly as you said.
And one more thing to take to heart. The spell is most effective when performed in the moonlight. But most of all, don't forget 9 drops.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Libac to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Libac his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this? That'll buy you more than one book.
I suppose Lord Libac wouldn't mind. And do you have the exact amount?
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Libac when I see him, and I'll explain everything.
But now tell me, what's the medicine for?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Just say it. He shot himself.
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
How can I help you, sir?
What do you have for sale?
Nothing to your liking, sir? Good afternoon.
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. Well, you don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capen. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nickvard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I need help. You can give it some thought, can't you?
No! And now leave me alone.
Did you hear about what the bailiff is planning? No, I don't care for gossip. Nor do I, but this is important. I'm not...
Let's fight.
As you wish. Practice or the real thing?
I want real weapons, not wooden ones.
How many opponents do you want?
One is plenty.
All right, let's get started. I surrender. But don't let it go to your head. I'll even the score next time.
We'll see about that.
I'm done for today. I reckon I'll be bloody sore tomorrow.
Huh? It's just... You shouldn't be bothering us here. You shouldn't be bothering us here. This damned rain.
Oh, excuse me.
My. What a beautiful horse.
Good day to you.
I'm here for some horse tack. I hear you have something for me.
Christ, what kind of mess is this again? I've got the tack ready, but I've been ordered to show you our herring first. You can take him, they said. So kindly take a look at him in the stable here and tell me if you want him or not. Take care.
I took a look at Herring.
And?
I'll take him.
Good. He ain't the fastest, but he'll work his little heart out, and he'll keep going for fucking ages. And he's a well-behaved, smart animal as well. An honest stock, too. From the Sameen stud farm. Not one of them stolen nags that's seen around these parts. I've heard that wind is blowing from them dodgy nomads.
There are nomads around here.
Aye. I hear their camp is somewhere in the rocks by Rock Tower Pond. They've got horses there. God knows how they came by them.
Well, useful to know. So I can avoid such places.
Well, let's not forget about your horse. He's there in the stables, so go and get him. You do know how to ride, don't you?
Why do you call him Herring?
Well, because he's like salted fish. He can travel a long way and he stinks a bit. And you're able to ride?
Ah, don't worry. I'm right at home with horses. I learned to ride with cumans on my tail, and arrows whistling past my head. A tough school it was.
Well, I'll be damned. I never heard such a thing before. But even an experienced horseman like you needs equipment, as you well know. You can tack him up yourself, right?
Sure. Thanks.
Farewell.
Pissing down again.
How can I help you today, friend?
I'll have a look at the wares. Let's talk about the... Is this enough?
That's all. Finally. I'm glad you... Found what you were looking for, sir. What do you need, sir?
Good day. I'm looking for Nick Vard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Livac. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing.
What task?
Nick Livac, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nick Vard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted.
to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First, a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway.
Steal a sword? That sounds like something a spy would do.
Not a spy who wants to help von Berghoff's most loyal servant. By servant, I mean me. See, once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Persuasion, threats, I know about them spy tricks. Deeds talk louder than words. For example, like bringing me a sword.
I'll gladly give you some groschen to buy your own sword.
Only spies pay bribes. Unless you had more groschen than a common spy would have. Then I'd believe you ain't one of them. Do you have that much?
I'm not going to pay you that much.
You want to hang on to your spy earnings. I understand. Well, you won't get another chance.
I'll think of a way to convince you.
Greetings. So what? Somebody did it and chucked him into the water. The river there has a powerful current. Dead man and floating down the river without anyone else. And that's not all. Dead man had a gold chain around his neck. Can you believe it? Someone bumped him off and didn't even rob him. That is strange. I reckon something devilish was involved. You don't see something like that every day.
This'll take a bit longer. Almost got it done.
You silly doggy.
All finished. About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
Well, I'm about half done. Fine. Now to temper it.
Good day to you. Oh, greetings to you too.
Praise God.
How did it go?
I went to see him, but he threw me out. And you're surprised?
But it was just a simple misunderstanding.
Hell or a never-ending boring...
About Nickford.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword?
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickford, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Bergoth. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
Oh, my back! A bit longer and I'll be hunched over like my granny.
Greetings.
Good day.
God bless you.
Oh, good day. Praise the Lord.
Ave Maria.
Greetings, friend.
What do I pay him for, Buck? If I bump into him,
Greetings.
I'll be sure to tell him to come and see you. He'd better. Otherwise, I'll have the catchpoles look for him.
Maybe he just popped out and will be right back.
He has no business popping out when I have work for him to do.
I heard the castle is haunted by demons again, Nicodemus. Did they bother you too?
They did indeed. A few days ago, I was in the chapel, deep in prayer, when a spawn of hell appeared before me. Fac mihi hominium. Swear an oath of allegiance to me.
My God. What did you say to it?
I laughed in the face of the Prince of Darkness. Would you not rather renounce your slavery and return to heaven? I told him. Without hesitation, he replied, better to rule hell than to be a slave in heaven. And then he disappeared, veiled in a terrible, foul-smelling smoke.
Phew. That sounds horrifying. But anyway, like I said, I was told to sprinkle water. If they dare try that even on a man of faith, nothing else will help.
I'm glad you have faith in the Lord, and not in some old wives' tales. Now take up your task, and rid us of that hellspawn. May the Lord guide you.
How long have you been here in Trotsky, Father?
Well, it's been quite a few years. But if you are interested in local history, you should go and see the scribe Erazim. He's been here the longest.
How do things work in the castle?
You mean who runs things when our lord is away?
Yeah, I see there's a lot of people here, so I wouldn't want to offend anyone.
Then you should watch out especially for Lady Yitka. She's the wife of our Burgrave Hashek. She's a pious woman, but also damned firm and strict on the servants. Her husband is in charge of the castle garrison and order in the region. Then Captain Thomas is responsible for Sir Otto's security. He's an old soldier and an upright fellow, even if he doesn't come to confession more than once a year. And the ruler of the roost here is the Chamberlain, Ulrich von Schaumburg. You seriously don't want to cross him, lad?
I noticed there's no church in Troskowitz, or anywhere nearby. Why's that?
It's true. You'll find the closest one in Uyezd, or in Mladejov on the other side. In Trotsky, we only have the chapel in the castle tower. In short, this domain is the middle of nowhere. It was only with Sir Otto's arrival that great things started happening.
What is Sir Otto von Berghoff like?
What can I tell you? Lord von Berghoff provides a livelihood for many people. He brought money to the region, restored and expanded the castle, and yet he spends most of his time in Prague. He's the royal chamberlain, and politics takes up a lot of his time.
I understand. He pays well and doesn't get in the way, eh?
That's not what I said. The old chamberlain, Ulrich, manages the estate, and he's definitely good with numbers, at least.
But
numbers and accounts aren't everything. One should also think about the salvation of one's soul. But that young man is absolutely none of your business.
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested? I'm sorry.
Pissing down.
Well,
You're not permitted to be
get my
here.
hopes up.
Surrender at once!
I surrender!
You can't say you weren't warned. You can't just loiter around on other people's property. You'll pay up and show me whether you stop.
Oh, please. Look at me. This is all just a
Oh. I'll get you.
Where are you, you fucker? You're looking for a fight, are you? Where the fuck are you from? Damned if I know where that bastard got to. Fuck. I'm always glad to see polite people like you.
Greetings. What do you...
They'll surely fall.
What game would you...
I actually don't.
Greetings.
How about...
What game would you like to play?
I actually don't. I feel it.
What game...
Wagoners.
Let's play.
What a night. I hope Lady Luck will be on my side.
Take that!
Well, you're not afraid of anything.
Bit chilly.
All right, that'll do you. Damn it! They're yours, lad.
Send my greetings to the devil!
If I was you, I'd take it. Have you lost your mind? You're going to lose everything.
Good day.
Well, that's that.
God bless.
poor wretch. Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Crazel wants, but it's quite ordinary. Apart from being covered in shit.
I saw him. He's trying to cover up a murder.
Lying here. Praise God. Aye. Someone should keep watch over the body.
Gotcha, fella! Give it to him!
I surrender. Enough.
Are you out of your mind? What did you want to do with that body? No, shut up. I don't want to know. You have no respect for the dead, and you'll pay for it. Once we get that dealt with, I'll search you to see if you've stolen anything.
Come now.
Oh,
How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn cradle?
Greetings. What's going on here?
What the fuck do you think is going on? Want to trade? Or are you just here to blather?
Let's do business.
You're on. No bullshitting. That's how I like it.
I'd like to do something about... Here.
Many thanks. Thank you, sir. And come
Somebody
again.
did him in and chucked him into the water.
But the river there has a powerful current. What is it? Are you whistling just for fun?
have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I had a peek inside. The pictures are nice, but what do you want to learn from them?
You'll find out soon enough. Show me that miraculous thing. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
But the essence of life from the skies didn't bother you, and now you're squeamish.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil wine and alum. Grind. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Crazer, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the lair. And there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right then. I hope you keep your word this time. The thing with the girl for the Chamberlain didn't work out. I reckon you knew that already.
I had no idea it'd be so much of a problem. In that case, it's up to you once again.
Thankfully, I have access to Trotsky now.
I heard things got heated with your imprisonment there.
That's putting it lightly.
Tell me about it later. What about the book? Got any leads yet?
I talked to Erazin, the scribe, and I'm working on it.
Good to hear, but get to it.
Quick! Go! Go! Quick! Ka! Quick! What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Crazel, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Like always. You'll send me off somewhere to look for something, and you'll have a fancy speech to go with it.
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, today things will be different. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part!
One more word, Zinek, and you'll get one on the nose.
Calm down, friend. I'm just kidding. Tell him then, Bonnie.
This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tackets.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Bonnie.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry. What is it you think we're making here?
I think you're minting fake coins.
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Everybody wants to get rich. But that wasn't the original intention. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
So you went to a university in Prague? The son of a miller?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin for it, miller or not. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
So they kicked you out?
I didn't give them the pleasure. I left myself. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean thievery?
Oh, come on. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
What did your parents say when you returned from your studies?
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, "I knew you'd be back." And he sent me to haul sacks of flour. I think in the end he was glad to have someone to take over the mill from him. From then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture, and all of a sudden, bang! I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry. We're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book, because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Bertold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
Before we get started, there's something I want to know. This book, Feuerwerkbuch, what's written in it?
Everything you'd want to know about black powder. How to mix it in the proper ratio. How to store it. How to light it properly. And especially how to use it in warfare. Because that's the most important part, after all.
Do you really need that much saltpeter?
We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing.
What is it you're going to do with this powder?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable and explosive mixture like this has more uses than you can imagine. If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trotsky if we wanted to. And maybe we will.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world. And now it's within our grasp.
What is it you studied at the university?
I was supposed to become a preacher.
That fits you. Maybe you'd even be a good preacher.
Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't.
God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas.
And I've already told you everything. The world is what you make it.
How did a scholar and an alchemist become a thief?
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance of getting a decent place to sleep or even something to eat. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival. We're all masters of our own destiny.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed, it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
Scraping nicer off the walls of the sky instead of mixing this stuff.
As long as you listen to me and keep the proportions right, you won't fuck this up.
I might actually listen to you if my ears ever stop ringing.
You really led me on about the gunpowder magazine, didn't you? A golem made of dough, souls inside saltpeter, the secrets of light and shadow. That was all just empty talk, wasn't it?
Not exactly. It's all based on the real philosophy of the Jewish Kabbalah. I studied the writings of Bonaventura and Dietrich von Freiberg, but it was never in my interest to put their theories into practice. But they worked brilliantly as a cover-up, don't you think?
I really thought you'd have a golem made from dough walking around the mill, or that I could become invisible.
Ah, but black powder is no less a miraculous creation.
So for the last time, Crazel, what now?
I'll do what I promised, and what will most likely be my fate. I'm going to gather together all the knowledge I've acquired and finish Black Berthold's book. I'll finish his opus.
Uh-huh. And what about me?
That's up to you, Henry. You're a free man. Lord Samin has no hold over you, and never did. You know, the inevitability of God's plan takes no interest in people like you and me. We'll always be little people, beneath it all.
That sounds somehow hopeful in a peculiar way, I'd say. Now I'm even happier about the great thing we've accomplished here.
The ideal conclusion, I'd say. Maybe it's time to carry sacks at a different mill. But if you're still interested in learning a bit more, drawing from the well of alchemical knowledge...
I know where to find you.
Indeed. Take care, friend.
We've been through a lot together. Will you finally tell me more about yourself?
Have you not grown tired of all this constant questioning? I've told you plenty already. And if I left something out, it was for a good reason.
Well, I know about the university, the alchemy, your desire to change the world, but I don't know anything about you as a person.
That's a question I'd like to know the answer to myself. To find yourself, and who you really are. Isn't that the only true meaning of life?
What's new around here?
Nothing much, lad. At least I haven't heard about anything.
Crazel?
See you soon, my friend.
Black powder? I'd never have expected that from Crazel.
Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf.
That dog of yours? What does that have to do with the gunpowder magazine?
Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vasarik. But we surely fooled you, eh? You had no idea we were making black powder.
We're in the middle of the forest next to a mill. I'd have expected more like you were cutting the flour with acorns or something.
We tried that too, but wood shavings are better.
So you'd rather go around licking the walls of sties?
Just you wait until I have my own castle and everyone calls me ma'am. Then we can talk about whether it was worth getting our hands dirty or our tongues. God be with you. And wash up a bit. You look awful. And I was beginning to worry what that was. But it's just you. God be with you.
So how about that book of yours, Crazel?
Wouldn't you like to know?
All secretive again, are we? I thought we got past that.
Sorry, Henry. Force of habit. My great work is complete. I picked up where Black Bertolt left off and brought his conclusions to a close. I believe that my work will lay the foundations of a new world where knowledge will forever reign over darkness.
Sounds interesting. Could I at least get a peek?
Sorry, Henry, but that won't happen. If anyone heard about the book, the church would be after me, like a dog after a rabbit. I hid the original so well, even you wouldn't be able to find it. Believe me, I made an effort.
You know I'd never tell anyone about it.
And what if you were tortured, huh? No. You can never be too sure. I even made an exact copy, just to be safe. That was even more work than we had with the original.
So maybe you could lend me this copy?
It's no longer here. I paid a messenger to take it to Kuttenberg, to someone I owe a lot to. See you soon, my friend.
Crazel, where's the copy?
In the good hands of a messenger who'll hand it over to Hermes Trismegistus. You're not going to catch that fella. He set off straight for Kuttenberg.
Who's Hermes Trismegistus?
That I will not tell you.
Well, I hope your courier arrived safely and didn't lose such a rarity to a common thief on the way.
Farewell. And wash up a bit so you don't scare anyone.
Black powder? Well now.
You didn't expect that, eh?
We're in the middle of the forest next to a mill. Who'd have expected exploding trees?
Aye, well, never judge a firework book by its cover.
Did Crazel tell you that joke?
Corva, how do you know that? Anyways, I hope the miller gives us a bit of extra coin now things has finally worked out.
In the worst case, you can go back to licking the walls of pigsties.
But next time you'll be coming with me. Take care. Farewell.
So it's you? Uh-huh. You're acting like a child. Go and whistle somewhere else.
Quick! 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 Ka! Go! Go!
Meow finish.
Go! Go! Ka! Ka! Go! Quick! Ka! Ka!
I have to go back.
Where did I put that sock?
He's gonna kill me! God! Please! God! Ah!
Quick! Quick! Gah! Quick! Gah! Whoa!
So this is Azivazhanka's shack. Why would anyone live like this? All alone. So this is Azivazhanka's shack. Why would anyone live like this? All alone.
Come here!
Good doggy. Good boy.
Here you go. Take it. You silly mutt. Ka! Go! Whoa! Whoa! Ah, poor fella. Looks like he drowned. This one drowned too. Heal! And this one also drowned. All three drowned. Sends shivers down my spine. Here, Mutt. Search.